Greetings, today I'll be demonstrating how to install Jenkins on Ubuntu. We'll be configuring Jenkins master credentials as well as a slave agent. We'll be adding a new slave node, configuring slave agent to execute build and running a sample job. So let's get started. First of all, I have already launched an EC2 instance with Ubuntu as the server, right? So we'll begin with updating the apt-get command. So the apt-get command is used to install packages, right? So we need to update the apt-get once instance is launched. Wait, this is the EC2 instance, right? Once our apt-get command gets updated, we'll be installing Java since Jenkins requires Java. So after that, Ubuntu uses Jenkins Debian package. So to use this repo, we first need to add the key in the system, and the command to add the key is this, right? So let's wait for the Java installation to get completed. So we can check whether Java has been installed in our system by using the Java -version command, which I'll be showing you in a second. So we'll be installing Java, then we'll have Jenkins also installed on our system, right? So this is taking a bit of time. Right, installed. So we'll check which version of Java has been installed. So Java version installed is this. Next up, we'll be adding the key to our system in order to use the repo, which was this command. So next up, so what this command does is that we have added the entry of Debian binary in the source list. Then we'll again update the apt-get command, and then we'll install Jenkins, right? So by the time our Jenkins get installed, we'll launch another EC2 instance which we'll name as our slave, right? So I guess let's create another EC2 instance, launch instance. That will be my slave 1 Ubuntu launch instance. So this will take a bit of time. Let's go back. Right, let's view our instances, refresh. So I can see my slave here, right? Under security, we'll edit the security groups, edit the inbound rules, and we'll add a rule. We'll allow all traffic. We'll save the rule, right? Go to EC2 instances. Then our slave is running, we'll connect our slave. Right, so we have this up and running as well. Let's see. Right, to check whether our Jenkins is up and running, we'll use the command service Jenkins status. So yeah, it's up and running. So now we'll check whether Jenkins, we'll see it in our browser, so that the URL to be used is the HTTP, the IP of the EC2 instance, the public IP :8080. So we'll go to our instances, we'll go to master networking, and this is a public IP, so I'll be doing http this colon 8080, right? So yeah, I'm initiated to the unlock Jenkins page. So I need to go to this file and I need to know my password. So I will do initial password. So I will do sudo cat command, which will display my password, right? So this is my initial unlocking password. I'll fill it over here, I'll continue, right? I'll install the suggested plugins. This will take a bit of time. So next up, okay, this will be done once the selected plugins have been installed, right? So let's start with by the time our plugins get installed, let's start with configuring the agent node, right? So for the agent node, what we'll have to do is we'll again run the sudo apt and we'll install Java on it, right? On our slave instance, we'll install Java. And install Java. This is taking a bit of time. So basically what Jenkins is, it is a CI/CD tool. It is open source and it follows a master slave architecture, right? So after our like we are directed to our dashboard, we'll set up a user and we'll also install a Maven integration plugins, right? So I think we're almost done. So we are directed to create user page. You have to give your credentials, right? So I'm directed, so I'll name this as master Tanya, right? Give any password. Tanya Agarwal, right? Any email, I'm giving this as the email. Save and continue. So you have to remember the URL, right? That is the IP, public IP of the instance colon 8080. So we have installed Java here. So next up, we'll be installing the Maven integration plugin. So we'll okay, that's asking master now. Save and finish. Start using Jenkins. So next up, we had to install a Maven integration plugin. So manage Jenkins, then manage plugins, available Maven integration and Maven pipeline, install without restart. So this will take a while, right? So after Maven installation, we'll be handling Jenkins security and configuring some security measures in Jenkins, right? So we'll be giving administrator authority and other access to some of our users. So once this is done, this is taking a bit of time. So dashboard. So when we go to manage plugins and we go to configure global security, right? So we'll use the matrix based security. Authenticated users will be allowed all access except that of administrator, right? Then we'll add master Tanya, right? So we'll give the admin role to that, right? We'll save. So we have successfully configured our security measures on Jenkins. Next up, we have already installed Java, right? And we'll create a first freestyle project. So click on new item, freestyle project. So this will be master Tanya test master, right? Okay. Right, so we'll configure this. So description is, so we'll add a port, will execute shell. So Java version, then ls minus l, right? We'll build the job. So the build is successful, right? So we have successfully created our first Jenkins job. So next up is the email notifications, right? So we have to install the email template, which is editable email notification template. You have to add a new template. I have added my template, that is my first job email notification. I've given a description, set the default recipients, reply to, and these settings, right? Then we go to manage Jenkins, and to send we'll go to global tool configuration. Okay, no, we'll go to configure system. Okay, under email notification, we'll set up the SMTP server to be smtp.gmail.com. Then we'll click on advanced settings. We will set use SMTP authentication. So you'll give the username and the password. This is the email ID through which you'll be sending the email, right? USB using SSL. SMTP port will be set to 465, char set to UTF-8. Then you'll test your email by sending a test email recipient. So the email was successfully sent. So our email notification was successfully sent, right? So we have enabled the email notifications, right? So next up, we had to configure a Jenkins master. So Jenkins master is already what you're working on. We have configured Jenkins master. So under Jenkins master, let's add a slave node, right? Let's add a slave node. Go to dashboard. let's go to manage Jenkins, manage nodes and clouds, and you will add a new node which name will be slave underscore Tanya. It will be a permanent agent. Create, so description, slave node. Remote root directory will be, so the remote root directory is /home/ubuntu /Jenkins. Labels, give the same as the name, right? So we'll save this. So it's showing that right, so we have to enable random for TCP ports. Save, and we'll go to manage node and clouds, slave Tanya. So this is first of all, it is not connected, the slave is not connected. So to do that, we'll firstly install agent.jar file, right? Then after launching the master as well as the agent, it's now time to connect our slave agent. So you have to download the agent.jar file, and once you go, you have to copy this a file to the slave instance. So you can use file transfer tools. So we will be using the sudo scpi command, -i, then the key, then the jar file, agent.jar file, then the instance name, and colon the path to the agent.jar file, right? So we have successfully copied. Next up, what we need to do is that we need to run from agent command line the following command. So we'll run this command from our slave instance, right? So it will show connected. So this is connected. Let's check this by going on to our Jenkins dashboard and going to manage Jenkins, manage node and clouds. You see there is no longer a red cross here and the agent is connected. So we have successfully configured a master as well as our agent, right? So after doing this, right, we'll create a sample project, a freestyle project, right, to test the slave, right? Let's test the slave. Let's go on dashboard, new item, test slave, right? Freestyle project, okay, right? Then label expression we'll need to run, enter the slave Tanya, right? And we'll using this as the shell script. So let's go add post, add build step, execute shell, the command, and then restrict, right, restrict where this project can run. So that will be slave Tanya, right? Let's save and build. So our build is successful, right? So we have successfully created a new job using our agent, using our slave agent, right? Next up, we'll be creating a pipeline, a Jenkins pipeline, right? So we'll get started. So to create a web app like a Jenkins pipeline, we'll give the name as web app Tanya, right? It is a pipeline. We'll click on OK. Then this will be pipeline script for SCM. So git. So I've already forked the web app repo. So the repo link should be one of the forked repo here. Then the branch specifier is we need to build the develop branch, right? Jenkins file is the script path which will remain as it is. Then we need to build this periodically. So here we have our Jenkins, right? So and right, so we will save this, and we'll also go to and we will assign this, configure this node as a label. We'll give the label as master, because in our Jenkins file the agent's label is master. So we need to configure this, we need to save this. Then we go to our web app project and we build, right? We'll start building, we'll see the console. So now when we look at to our console output, we see that MVN was not found, because of which a build failed. So we'll be installing Apache Maven onto our master, right? So after Apache Maven has been installed, we'll again build. To check which version of MVN is involved, we can do the following command, right? So now let's build our app again. We'll go back to the project, we'll build now. We can see the stage view here. Okay, so the build is success. We have successfully created our pipeline, right? So the build is a success. We can go to dashboard. So we see that our build has been successful. We have successfully created our Jenkins pipeline. Next up, we'll be downloading plugin Blue Ocean rather. So we see that our Blue Ocean plugin has been successfully installed. So we'll now go to the Blue Ocean app, Blue Ocean plugin, and we'll click on new pipeline, GitHub, connect to GitHub. So you have to create an access token here. So you have to give your GitHub repo password. Right, so what is the token for? The token is for Blue Ocean token, right? So we'll generate a token. So we copy the token, we'll go here, we'll click here, we'll connect to our GitHub repo. Then the repo we want to build is the web app, right? So you'll be creating a pipeline here. So let's wait for the pipeline to get created, right? So basically the purpose of Blue Ocean plugin is it is a multi-branch pipeline feature. It is used to implement multi-branch pipeline feature. So here you can see my various branches are being built, right? And some of the branches will not be built since they are not updated at the moment, and they are supposed to be run on a Windows server, and we are right now working on a Ubuntu server. So we'll see that our feature master and the develop branch have successfully been built. So we have successfully worked with our Blue Ocean plugin. So next up, we have to merge the local changes to the version control system git. So since we had already cloned our web app repo and had set the upstream to the fork using this command, in order to pull the local changes, like here I do git status, I have already modified my pom.xml file. What I have to do is I will perform git add dot command and then commit it with a commit message. Then I'll push my changes, and after pushing the changes, I see that here I have my modified pom.xml file showing here. That is how you can like merge your local changes to the version control system. Next up, we'll be installing and configuring Nexus, right? So let's get started. To start with installation of Nexus, I have these commands ready with me. So first we'll update our sudo apt command, right? Then we'll upgrade it. This will take a time. This will also take a few minutes. Upgradation is complete. We'll install Java. So this will also take few minutes. When it's complete, we'll check the version of Java install. It's 1.8 something. Then we'll add a user. Then we'll nano this directory. Then we'll paste this. Lock, Control O, enter, Control X. Then we'll download the tar file. Then we'll unzip the tar file. Then we'll ls firstly to see our files, so we can find the Nexus here. Next up, we'll move the Nexus right. After that, we'll change the ownership. Then we'll make another directory called /opt/sonatype work. Then we'll again change the ownership, right? After that, we'll go to this. Then we'll edit run as user and type Nexus, right? Then we'll go to nano. So I guess the file is fine here. We need not change anything. Then we'll go to this file, and here you will paste this content. Right, after this we'll run the sudo daemon reload command, then start Nexus. Then you'll be enabling Nexus, and then there is a command to check whether the Nexus service is active or not. So we say it's active and it's running. So you can URL for the same is your server IP address :8081, the HTTP, then the IP address :8081 and /. So I'll be directed to the Nexus repository manager page. We are on a home page for the Nexus repository manager. We'll sign in, we'll give the name as admin, and the password will be located in this file. So let's do sudo cat. So the password is this. We'll sign in, right? We'll set a new password. Next, we'll enable anonymous access as of now. We'll finish. We'll go to upload. We'll go to settings. We'll go to repositories, right? Then we'll click on create a repository. So we'll create a Maven 2 hosted repository. The name will be UPES, right? And rest all things will be default, right? So we have our repository created and we have the repository URL. The URL here will be added to our pom.xml file under your repositories. Here you will change the link with the link that is here, as well as here. You will commit these changes, right? Then the next step is that we have to so we have added the repository section to our pom.xml. The next step is to edit the .m2/settings.xml, right? So we'll go to our PC and then we'll go to cd.m2. So we'll do ls. So we see the settings.xml file, right? So now I'll have to add this to my file and add my password. So I'll be stopping the recording and I'll be resuming that once I've edited my file. So I've successfully configured my settings.xml file. Then I'll go to my web app directory and I'll run mv and clean deploy. So Maven should be installed on your PC before you start with this, right? So this is now running. We see that our build has been successful, right? So we'll now go to our Nexus, we'll go to browse, we'll go to UPS, and we see our repository here, right? So we have successfully published our artifacts to the Nexus. Next up, we'll be installing and configuring SonarQube. To install SonarQube, we'll first have to install Docker on our system. So then after Docker installation is complete, we have to install Docker Compose. Compose has been installed. After Docker has been installed, we'll be installing Docker Compose. So then we'll go and to the Docker Hub SonarQube documentation and run these 4 commands. So you'll do sudo right, sudo, then be going to the SonarQube docs and we'll be copying the docker compose.yaml file, and then in our system we'll be doing nano docker compose dot YAML. Then we'll be pasting here, we'll be saving, and we'll be exiting. Then we'll run sudo docker compose up, then to open SonarQube on our browser, we'll be taking the instance of IP of our instance colon 9000, right? So let's wait for this to get completed. So by the time we get to this, I'll be copying this, right? I'll be copying just the IP. I'm going to HTTP. Oh wait, colon 9000. So SonarQube is starting, right? The initial page where our password and username is admin, right? We'll be giving the new password and setting the new password. Update. Next up, we'll be publishing our SonarQube report. So the command to do is here, right? So we'll go to our web app and we'll write this command. We'll give the login and password, right? And then we'll start. My build was success. So now let's go to refresh this page and we'll be seeing our report. So this is the static code analysis report for our app, Java web app, right? So we have successfully installed and configured SonarQube on our system. So as you can see in my slave instance, when I ls, I see the webapp.jar file here, and when I go to the slave instance IP:999, I can see this file, as well as when I go on my master instance IP:9999, I see the same. When I go to my Jenkins dashboard and I perform my build, as we can see, our build is successful. So we have successfully deployed our application. The deployment.sh file has these 3 commands that I have used. Here I have mentioned the slave instance IP. The Jenkins file of my app looks something like this. These are the commands that I have used. So next up, what we'll be doing is we'll be manually uploading plugins in Jenkins and using backup management in Jenkins. So next up, we have to upload plugins manually in Jenkins. So we'll go to the following link. So we'll be directed to a page here like this. Then we'll be scrolling and coming to copy artifact /plugin. We'll install the latest release. Then we'll go to manage Jenkins. Under manage Jenkins, we'll go to manage plugins, and we go to advanced, right? Then we go to downloads, copy artifact, we'll upload, and we upload. So your installation will be successful here. Since I had already installed it, so Jenkins needs to be restarted for update to take effect. So I'll just simply go back to the top of my page. After that, what we're supposed to do is we are supposed to back up our Jenkins project. So what we need to do is we need to install a plugin called Thin Backup plugin, right? So we'll go to manage Jenkins, go to manage plugins, right? And in another available, we'll say Thin Backup. Thin Backup, right? So Thin Backup is something that I have already installed, so you can install it on your system. Then after installing Thin Backup, what we have to do is we have to go to again manage Jenkins, then we need to go to Thin Backup, then we need to go to settings. We'll be giving these settings like the backup directory, the backup schedule. So this cron will spread load evenly by using this command rather than this command, right? The force Jenkins to quiet mode after specified minutes, right? And we'll save this and we'll do backup, right? So now we'll check whether we have our backup Jenkins file in that particular folder. So I'll be doing cd.jenkins, then ls. So here I can see my backup Jenkins file, so I'll move to this file and do ls. So I can see the backups here, and my backup management was successful. We have completed our module for the same. Thanks for watching.